Hey everyone, and welcome back to the deep dive. This time, we're going to be taking a deep dive into La rivoluzione dell'alimentazione consapevole,
Oh, wow.
which translates to the
Yeah.
revolution of conscious eating.
I love that.
It's an ebook that one of you sent our way,
Awesome.
and it's really all about empowering you to take control of your own health
Yes.
through mindful eating and sustainable lifestyle changes.
It's so interesting because this book, it goes beyond just like a typical diet fad. It's really about fostering a positive relationship with food
Yeah,
and understanding how food choices impact your overall well-being.
I like that. So the book kicks off by introducing this concept of alimentazione consapevole, or mindful
Mhm.
eating. And it really encourages us to be present during our meals, engage all of our senses, and really savor each bite.
Yes.
Why does the book place so much emphasis on this?
Well, how often do we just eat on autopilot?
Oh, yeah.
Scarf down our food while we're scrolling through our phones or watching TV.
Totally guilty of that.
Right. Like this book challenges you to break free from that mindless eating
Yeah,
and transform mealtime into a more mindful experience.
I like that.
By slowing down and actually experiencing our food, we can improve our digestion
Okay.
and increase satisfaction.
So it's not just about what we eat, but how we eat.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, the book also dives deep into the importance of natural foods
Yes.
as a foundation of a healthy diet.
Absolutely. It highlights fruits, vegetables, whole grains,
Right.
legumes like beans and lentils, nuts and seeds, healthy fats and lean protein.
Like the whole gamut.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just listing these food groups.
Like that.
It explains why they're so beneficial.
I like that.
For example, it emphasizes whole grains over refined grains because refining grains strips away a lot of those key nutrients,
Okay.
like magnesium and B vitamins, which are really crucial for energy production and overall health.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about fiber being good for gut health.
Exactly.
And I know whole grains are a good source of that.
Yes, fiber plays a crucial role in digestion. It can help regulate blood sugar levels.
Oh, wow.
And speaking of blood sugar, the book has a whole chapter dedicated to sugar and carbohydrate consumption.
That was one of the parts that I was most curious about.
Yeah,
Because it seems like there's just so much conflicting information out there
right.
about sugar and carbs.
And this book does a great job of cutting through all the noise.
Yeah.
It encourages choosing natural sugars over refined sugars and complex carbs over simple carbs.
Okay.
And it explains why those choices matter.
Gotcha.
So, for example, refined sugar can lead to those dreaded energy spikes and crashes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Whereas complex carbohydrates provide a more sustained energy throughout the day
Okay.
because they're broken down more slowly in the body.
So swapping that sugary cereal for a bowl of oatmeal with fruit could make a big difference in how I feel throughout the morning.
Exactly. It's about making choices that support those consistent energy levels and overall well-being.
Yeah, I like that. The book also emphasizes the importance of protein. It points out that protein is crucial for building and repairing tissues and also plays a role in supporting energy levels.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of protein sources does it recommend?
It suggests including lean protein sources
Right.
like white meat, fish eggs, tofu, and legumes.
Okay.
But what's interesting is this book emphasizes the importance of diversifying our protein intake.
Really?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because each protein source has a unique amino acid profile.
Uh-huh.
And by incorporating a variety of sources, we ensure that we're getting all the essential building blocks that our bodies need.
Okay.
Think of it like building a house.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just use bricks. You'd need wood, concrete, and all these other materials to create a strong and stable structure.
That's a great analogy.
It's the same with our bodies.
Okay, so how can we actually put that into practice?
Sure.
What are some ways to incorporate more protein diversity into our meals?
Well, instead of always reaching for chicken, try swapping it out for fish a couple times a week, or experiment with plant-based protein sources like lentils or tofu. You can also incorporate protein into your snacks.
Okay.
A handful of almonds or a hard-boiled egg can be a great way to boost your protein intake between meals.
Those are great tips.
Yeah.
I'm definitely guilty of getting stuck in a protein rut,
Yeah.
so I'm going to try to branch out more.
Good.
The book also dedicates a whole chapter to healthy fats.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's been a lot of back and forth over the years about which fats are good and which ones we should avoid.
Right.
What's the book's take on that?
Well, the book does a really good job of clarifying the different types of fats and their effects on the body. It recommends prioritizing monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats,
Okay.
like those found in avocados, olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish.
Yeah.
And those fats can actually support heart health and brain function.
So those are the fats we want to be friends with.
Exactly. And while the book acknowledges that saturated fat isn't inherently bad, it does recommend limiting our intake, especially from processed foods.
Gotcha.
Trans fats, on the other hand, are a definite no-no, according to the book.
Okay.
Those are the artificially created fats that are known to increase the risk of heart disease.
Yeah, that's helpful to know. The book also talks about personalized meal planning,
Yes.
which I think is such an important concept.
Absolutely.
It's about understanding our own unique needs and preferences
Yeah.
and creating a plan that works for us individually.
Right. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to healthy eating.
Right.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Yeah.
This book really encourages you to tune in to your own body's signals and adjust your eating habits accordingly.
So it's like becoming your own dietary detective,
Exactly.
figuring out what foods make you feel your best
Yeah,
and what foods might be causing problems.
exactly. It's about paying attention to how your body responds to different foods and making adjustments based on your own individual needs.
I'm curious, how can we get better at recognizing those subtle signals our bodies are sending? Are there any strategies for tuning in to those cues?
One really helpful approach is to keep a food journal.
Okay.
By tracking what you eat and how you feel afterward,
Hmm.
you can start to notice patterns. For example, if you notice that you consistently feel sluggish after eating a certain food,
Yeah.
that could be a sign that it's not agreeing with you.
It's like connecting the dots between what we eat and how we feel.
Exactly. You can also try eliminating certain foods from your diet for a period of time
Okay.
and then reintroducing them one by one to see if you notice any changes in how you feel. It's like conducting your own mini elimination diet experiment.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's a way to take control of our health and become more aware of how different foods affect us personally. This book is really giving us a lot to think about.
Yeah.
So far, we've talked about mindful eating, choosing natural foods, understanding the different types of carbs, fats, and protein,
Right.
and the importance of personalized meal planning. What else does the book explore?
Well, there's a fascinating section about the potential of network marketing as a support system for achieving personal health goals. It briefly mentions how these networks can provide structure and community for those looking to improve their well-being.
Interesting. We won't be endorsing any specific network marketing programs, of course, as per our show's guidelines.
Of course.
But it does raise an interesting point about the importance of having a support system when making lifestyle changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether it's through friends, family, online communities, or even professional guidance, having a network of people who understand and support your goals can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
They can offer encouragement, accountability, and even practical tips for navigating challenges.
It's like having a team of cheerleaders on the sidelines of your health journey, cheering you on and helping you stay motivated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they can also celebrate your victories with you, which can be incredibly rewarding and help you stay committed to your goals.
It sounds like finding that supportive community can be just as important as having a good meal plan.
It really can.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into la rivoluzione dell'alimentazione consapevole, I think the big question for our listeners is this.
Yeah.
What's one actionable step they can take away from all of this?
Yeah.
What's one thing they can implement in their lives starting today?
That's a great question. And I think it goes back to one of the core principles we discussed earlier, mindful eating.
Ah, yes. Slowing down, savoring, and truly being present with our food. I can definitely see how that could be transformative.
It really can be. So often we rush through meals, distracted by our phones or the TV, barely even tasting what we're eating.
Yeah.
But what if for your very next meal, you put away all distractions?
Okay.
No phone, no TV, no books.
Just me and my food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then as you're eating, engage all of your senses.
Okay.
Really look at the colors and textures of your food. Inhale the aromas. Notice the sounds as you chew. And of course, savor every flavor.
Wow, that sounds like a completely different way of experiencing a meal.
It is.
Almost like a meditation practice, but with food.
You could say that. And by bringing this level of awareness to our eating, we can start to rebuild our relationship with food. We become more attuned to our body's signals of hunger and fullness. We appreciate the nourishment we're receiving, and we might even find that we enjoy our meals more.
It's like we're finally giving food the respect it deserves.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And here's another thought. As you're eating mindfully, try to identify one specific thing about the meal that you're truly grateful for.
Oh, I love that. Whether it's the freshness of the ingredients, the effort someone put into preparing the meal, or simply the fact that we have access to delicious food, It's a powerful way to shift our perspective.
It is. Cultivating gratitude can enhance our eating experience even further. It helps us focus on the abundance in our lives rather than dwelling on what we might be restricting or depriving ourselves of.
This has been such a rich, deep dive.
It has.
We've explored mindful eating, the power of natural foods, choosing the right carbs and fats, getting enough protein, personalized meal planning, and even the importance of community.
And remember, this is just the beginning.
Yeah. There's so much more to discover in the world of conscious eating. It's an ongoing journey of self-discovery, learning about your unique needs and preferences.
I love that perspective. This ebook has definitely sparked a renewed sense of curiosity in me about what I'm putting into my body and how it affects me.
That's fantastic. And keep in mind, there are so many resources available to support you on this journey. From books and articles to registered dietitians and health coaches, there's a wealth of information and guidance out there.
And as we discussed, don't underestimate the power of community.
Yes.
Connecting with others who share your interest in healthy eating can provide motivation, support, and even some delicious recipe ideas.
Absolutely. Sharing your journey with others can make it more enjoyable and sustainable.
Well, it feels like we've covered a lot of ground today, exploring so many facets of la rivoluzione dell'alimentazione consapevole. But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listener with a final thought-provoking question inspired by the ebook. What's one small change you can make this week to be more mindful of your body's needs and signals? Perhaps it's simply slowing down during your next meal and savoring each bite, or maybe it's taking a moment to really tune in to your hunger and fullness cues. Remember, every small step counts on the path to a healthier, more vibrant you.
Beautifully said. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of knowledge.
We'll be here to guide you every step of the way.
Happy listening. This ebook, La rivoluzione dell'alimentazione consapevole, it's really given us a lot to think about.
It really has.
It's all about making those sustainable changes
Yeah.
that nourish our bodies and our minds.
And it reminds us that this isn't about striving for perfection.
Right.
It's about making progress one step at a time.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Finding what works for you and enjoying the journey.
Exactly. One mindful bite at a time. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
We explored the principles of mindful eating, the importance of choosing natural foods, understanding the roles of different nutrients, and creating personalized meal plans. We even touched on the power of community and finding support along the way.
It's been a really enlightening deep dive.
It really has. So as we wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question. Inspired by the book, The Rivoluzione dell'alimentazione consapevole, really emphasizes the importance of listening to our bodies.
Right.
So what's one small change you can make this week to be more mindful of your own body's needs and signals?
Maybe it's as simple as putting away your phone during your next meal and really savoring each bite. Or maybe it's taking a moment to check in with yourself before you eat and ask, am I truly hungry or am I eating out of boredom or stress? Every small step you take brings you closer to a healthier, more vibrant you.
Beautifully said. So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of knowledge.
We'll be here to guide you every step of the way.
Happy listening.